What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Madden 20 franchise rebuild, where we finally got this season on the right track last episode, and did so in a really big way. We defeated the Saints, our rivals, twice, and have won 5 out of our last 6 games, and we're 4-1 since the trade deadline, where I made a lot of moves that addressed our defense. In our last 4 games, we have played a lot better defense, not so much against the Lions. These first 2 games, the defense struggled, but since then, against the Saints twice and the Broncos, they've been excellent. And meanwhile, the offense has also been playing at a higher level. Tyrus Sparks appears to be back in his top form again. Angel Copeland is delivering big plays, and now he has everybody excited, even with Adonis Askew injured. So today we push forth with this season and try to clinch our playoff spot. Now, I know things are going well, but obviously things can change, and they already have this season. Our last 5 games are very difficult. 3 in division. I know the records aren't great, but they're still division games. They tend to be tough for some reason. The Panthers give us so much issue, and the Cowboys and Chargers are definitely Super Bowl contenders. We do have a lead in the division, and thankfully also the tiebreaker due to beating the Saints twice. So if we can win, 3 out of these 5, I'll feel pretty good. But this one right here is going to be tough. The win streak continues. Down go the Chargers at 9-2. Tyrus Sparks 4 touchdowns as we intercepted Lawrence Hitchens twice, sacked him 4 times as well. Angel Copeland, 3.9 yards a carry. Sometimes these lower rated players will produce, and when they do, you get very lucky. Angel Copeland here doing what he has to do. Mike Evans, big day. Same for Kiki QT and Keenan Allen. And a touchdown for O.J. Howard. So the offense continuing to play at a high level. And then our defense, it might have been a tougher matchup for them against the good Chargers offense. But Leonard Merritt, 2.5 sacks. Robert Cush, brand new contract, 10 tackles plus the sack. And how about Hudson Lumen? He had a pick in the game we watched last episode and just got 2 more. There was an injury, however. And given how often it's happened to running backs, I really hope it's not Angel Copeland. The injury suffered was to Kyle Caver. And obviously I traded away Ben Burr-Kirvin for a 3rd and 4th round pick. So it's next man up now at inside linebacker. And that probably means that we're going to have to dig pretty deep here. But our new inside linebacker is going to be Thurman Meadows. A 69 overall linebacker with good speed, decent zone coverage, and tackling ability. I feel like his ratings aren't all that bad, so that's why he's on the team as good depth. And now it looks like a big chance for him. There's a lot of upgrading to do right now, so let's try to go quick. We have Will Tate getting slot, getting that man coverage boost. Sylvester Clark has given up some sacks this season, so we improve pass protector. We traded for Javonte Melvin, and I don't know if I want to keep him on the team long term or what the role is going to be, but I think if he has to start right now, not a bad player to have there. We're going to go pass rusher, though. Just wrecked the scheme fit status for DeMarcus Lodge to try and get his slot skills up a little bit. Never ended up trading Julian Culver. He just stayed on the team as very good tackle depth. I could make Shea a scheme fit and keep him there, but I just feel that he's never going to be a deep threat, dominant deep receiver anyway, so we're going slot. And then, Angel Copeland taking over for Adonis Askew. He's a big player running back, and the carrying goes up for him. Here are his ratings at this stage. Now we take care of Carolina, and the Saints won as well, so there's still 1 less in the win column compared to us, but it's essentially 2 with just a few games left. McCaffrey, 5 yards a carry. Copeland, just the 3.1, but it's always tough to run on this team, and somehow touchdowns went to both Juwan Hopkins and Ronald Jones, while Mike Evans once again produced well. Our top 3 targets all had nice days. And on the defensive side of things, We got no sacks and no picks, but still Carolina only had 17 points. Kyle Caver will still be out for a couple of weeks, but he will likely be one of our players we count on moving forward. He gets a nice overall boost here of 2 with zone coverage, awareness, and tackling. He's still just a 21-year-old rookie with a lot of upside. I can't be too sure about what the future holds for Frederick Hughes, but he's been starting all season and continues to develop. Here we work on his agile skills. Given his ability to make plays over the years, including now in a starting role, I would like to give Hudson Lumen a 3-year contract. It is not a huge deal, but if he's going to remain a starter, I can trust him, and if he's depth, he's very good depth. Julian Culver isn't asking for a huge deal either, so I'd like to keep him around. You never know if an offensive lineman's going to get hurt. I tried trading him 2 years ago, and he's still on the team. Let's also try to keep Thurman Meadows. I'll increase the salary by about $250,000, and we're going to keep him on the team as well. As far as these other skill players go, I'm still going to wait on what happens in regression and then try to maybe bring back somebody or 2 of these players. I'm not sure, but I know that the offers, what's fair, will come down once we get that far. Like I've said before, it's risky, but willing to take that chance. In overtime, our win streak is ended by the Falcons. And meanwhile, the Saints continue to win. We have the same amount of wins. We do own the tiebreaker, but unfortunately, it's still not a given that we'll win the division. So, we have 2 games left. One is against the Dallas Cowboys. We didn't really do a whole lot in this game. We did have a few sacks on defense, but the offense didn't produce a whole lot. Kevon DeVoe had the first interception of his career. That's pretty cool. I think that he might have a chance at Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's got a moderate amount of sacks. Interception will definitely help. He's also earning an upgrade to 75 overall, and finesse moves goes up by 2. We will also upgrade Robert Cush. With that brand new contract, he's definitely become a key player now on the defense. And I don't think I showed you his ability. I haven't seen myself, but it's Secure Tackler, which isn't too exciting, but it'll be good for run defense. And of course, I want to see Jermichael Beekman become that star player. Well, he just became a scheme fit. That's nice. And the press gets better, catching, you know, I like takeaways, and interceptions are what I'm really looking for. Great speed, great man cover, great catching. I think he's going to be really good. And I can't wait to see Adonis Askew return next season. Let's go to 77 overall, carrying +2. Here's a current look at the playoff picture. The Rams are out in front. We already lost to them once. Now we're here at 10-4. The Cowboys at 9-5. We have clinched a playoff spot. We know that's going to happen. And the Cowboys are on the schedule right now. I would definitely like to watch this rematch from last year's playoff loss. By the way, there are a couple things I wanted to talk about. In the comments last time, I saw that a lot of you were wondering about the playbook that I've built for this series. I haven't done the game plan yet, I'm sorry. I sat down to work on it a little bit the other day, and I looked at my first down plays again, and I'm like, no, I don't like any of this as far as like the runs go and whatnot. So I've got to scrap what I had game plan wise and redo the whole thing, and I'll have it for next season. I'll make sure it's done for the next year. We won't do a playbook change mid-season, so I'll take a look at our personnel next year. It's probably going to change a bit, and then I will build something fresh. The other thing is, would you like to see me try to recap things a bit tighter in the intro to episodes where I'm going through simmed games and all that stuff, and it kind of takes a lot of time? I don't mind doing it, but obviously the videos seem to have gotten longer, and a lot of time is taken prior to us actually getting into a game here. So would you like to see that change? as we open the day with a big stop on Ezekiel Elliott. And I'm really hoping that we are up for the challenge today. Although we've made trades, we have a lot of young players trying to fill roles. So I'm not expecting us to have a great day. Here is Prescott, and the pass is right on target as he connects at the 41-yard line for 16 yards. That's Stammer. But given our struggles against Todd Gurley with basically the same defense, hard to predict anything great for us today. Although, for a month now, we've been playing much better on that side of the football. Handoff, Zeke spinning forward. He is close. They gave him the first down. Now play fake Prescott. Outside, right on target. Amari Cooper in the sideline. There's a perfect duo. Play fake again. Prescott. Complete inside the 25. Cowboys easily getting down the field. There you go. Got to make those tackles. DeVoe missed his, but the tackle is made, and Meadows is number 58. He will be getting a lot of playing time now. We need him. Second down. Another broken tackle on DeVoe. Here goes Zeke. All those yards after contact. I guess that's where secure tackler at edge rusher is actually kind of nice. Too bad they're not running at Robert Cush. They're running at the rookie who has not gotten those run stopper upgrades. Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. That's the start I was hoping we wouldn't see. All right, our offense has to stay on top of their game now, although we didn't do well against the Falcons. And we're going to start with a sack. Down goes Sparks. It's Josh Sweat off that play action fake. Now they bring pressure. We throw the screen. Jalen Smith. He'll ruin those plans. Come on, Jalen. We had a good thing in the Cardinals series. Can you just, take a break? 3rd and 20. Here comes the rush now, and wow, what a start. It's all Dallas here. Max Heenan stood no chance against DeMarcus Lawrence. Thankfully, we got a good punt, our best play so far, and Dallas takes over. They get a penalty on Leonard Merritt. Not sure how Leonard Merritt did a penalty for 5 yards. That would have been an automatic first down, but that happened. Second down, 2 yards, and 20 yards to Amari Cooper. It ain't looking good, guys. We just got into the game, and Dallas is trying to make this thing over as quick as possible. 16 to Marcus Lodge, 5 to Copeland. There's no giving up here now, especially this early. But come on, we got to move the ball. Can't allow a touchdown here. Got to get a stop. We got a 3 and out. All right, offense, what do you got? From the 38-yard line, we start this drive with a quick throw that's hauled in by Copeland. Sparks to the air again. Watch out, DeMarcus Lawrence. The ball's got to come out quicker, and he's going to get in the zone. There it is. Now I think the only way to get out of the zone is to get yards. And here comes Lawrence again. 3rd sack of the day. 3 sacks in 2 possessions. Or I guess 3 possessions, but in the 2 we watched. 14-0. Dallas is just so good in the right areas. 3rd and 3, 17. Come on, man. What are we going to do? 21-0 Cowboys. It's even worse than the playoff game. We got to get first downs here. We just got to get points. 2:45 to go in the first half. Lodge is catching a lot of passes. Mike Evans then for 9 as we hit the warning. 10 more to Copeland. Touchdown, Mike Evans. That is big. Only down 14 here. Oh, 22 Ezekiel Elliott. 23 Amari Cooper. We're not built to handle these explosive offenses. Not at all. I can't say I'm surprised by what's happened so far, but doesn't make it any less disappointing. Handoff and room to run, Angel Copeland. That's a 14-yard pickup. We've ran 20 plays to this point. That's how bad it's been. Now the blitz is sent and handled. Open! Dawson Knox. We can still make a game out of this. Play fake. Oh, Copeland, thank you, but missing. Sparks had an open man. Wide open. Blitz sent again. Up the field. Let's go. It's on target for Godwin. Big throw from Sparks. He comes back with a very nice completion to Godwin. Now inside the red zone. Tampa Bay trying to stay in it. Two receivers left. Play fake. And another pass that apparently was accurate, but maybe it led the receiver a bit too much. I don't know. Second down and 10. 3 tight ends on the field. And Copeland spinning ahead. Gaining 6. Now we go empty. I really don't want the 3 points here. Can we get 6? This is caught. And maybe a few inches short. It's points. It's something. But we have to get stops regardless. But it's still going to be a 3-score game, sadly. Dallas comes out and they can pound the running game if they want to. And they come out with 3 tight ends. Motion. And they'll probably run to the right. Or right up the middle. Uh-oh. Lumen on the tackle. Handoff Elliott, and hey, Kevon DeVoe. He makes the play that time, and now Zeke is hurt. And that could be a huge injury for Dallas, of course. Elliott will come out of the game. I forget who the backup is now at this stage of the series. But we'll see if they can continue to run. Play action, though, here. Prescott on target. First down, Cowboys. Another handoff, and yeah, they can still block. 10 yards for Keys. It's hard for us to compete with this team unless we can get turnovers. We're just not going to stop the run, and their plays enough. That is a touchdown. Hudson Lumen just got mossed by Amari Cooper. Yeah, I think this one's about over, sadly. This team is just so good. I mean, their advantage in the trenches is so much on the offensive side. And then on defense, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence, he can get in the zone, and he's a major factor. 35-10, we do get a touchdown, but we're still waiting on that defensive miracle here. We have to get stops. Nothing happens until they get stops. And Keenan Keys is in the game. 3rd and 3. 9 yards. Back across midfield. 3rd and 10. 7. Missed a field goal. Okay. Still down 18, but we might as well see what the offense can do. 35-17 is the score, and this is Sparks to the air. Oh my, he's intercepted. And that's Will Parks on the play. That's going to do it. All right, Will Parks, nice play there, and this game is over. Kevon DeVoe does sack Prescott. But yeah, this is a team that we just do not want to run into in the postseason. We've got to hope that we're not matched up with them and we can move on without having to face them. You know, hopefully they face the Rams and, you know, the Rams can win. I don't know which of those two teams is the better matchup, but I know the last 2 games against Dallas have been complete nightmares for us. So we've got to just hope we don't see them again. We do get another touchdown, so the offense, you know, they did what they could, especially not getting the ball much in the first half, losing time of possession badly. But 35-24, that's your final. Teams that have dominant running games have a big advantage over us. Where we're at our best is, getting to the quarterback on occasion, forcing turnovers, and it's hard to do that against a team that wants to run and can all game long. Sparks had a solid stat line despite the interception. Dak Prescott didn't have to throw the ball a ton, but when he did, he still got massive yardage, almost 13 yards an attempt. Ezekiel Elliott, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. He did get hurt. We'll have to check on his status. Amari Cooper, so good. DeMarcus Lawrence, 3 sacks, no 4. My offensive coordinator wants to rest a key player for the playoffs. I've never seen that scenario pop up, but we have not won the division yet. And I don't care to go on the road in the first round if we have a chance at a first round bye. The Vikings, Cowboys, and Bucs all have 10 wins, but given our loss to Dallas, we know we can't top them if they get 11 wins. The Rams already have their 11 and the tiebreaker over us. So as unlikely as it is for us to get a first round bye now, I don't see us being able to rest our starters in week 17. Who's the player they're talking about? Is it Sparks? Our postseason seeding is locked in, and they're talking about Mike Evans. I disagree. We've got to play. His morale will increase if he plays. Okay. The fewer downs Mike Evans plays this week, the more stamina he'll have for the playoffs. However, more downs play will increase his morale. You can adjust his position in the depth charts. So how does that work exactly? His stamina for the playoffs? I would understand that better if this game had a system like MLB or 2K where you would be able to literally see energy, injury risk in the case of 2K, and in MLB you get player energy for everybody. Oh, by the way, speaking of 2K, a lot of you are wondering about the Surf. I do still want to play that series, but I recorded an episode, now it's a couple weeks ago, and I didn't think it was a very good episode, and I didn't think you guys would enjoy watching it, so I decided that I was going to scrap that one, and until I was able to practice and get, back to at least where I was, I didn't want to do the series if it wasn't going to be fun for anybody or worth your time. So that's been on hiatus now, but I still intend to play that series if you'd like to see it. Week 17 will get its own episode as we also recap the season and preview the playoffs. So as scouting kind of gets shut down at this stage until the Super Bowl in the offseason, why don't we take some time now to talk about this draft class and what's going to be upcoming. Although we now know we are going to the playoffs, we have a first-round pick next year, 3 third-round picks, 3 fourth-round picks, but no second. So hoping to find good value, and who knows, maybe with the extra 3s we can look at a trade up in the first round. But the way I look at it, I'd love to bring in another receiver with Evans, Godwin, and Howard all getting older. It's going to be hard enough to keep them all on the team, but at the same time, they're all going to experience some degree of regression. And the top receiver in this class is Garrison Miller. Trading up to get him is probably not going to be realistic. We don't have a current second-round pick to help us out, so our most valuable pick to trade would be next year's 1, which for Garrison Miller might be worth it, but there's a chance he goes number 1 overall. Outside of Miller, there are still some talents here that are worth a look in the mid-rounds. Like, I know some players here are overrated, but overrated doesn't mean bad. It just means the projection is off. Rashawn Sutton has good deep route running and spec catch at 6'3", 22 years old. If he runs fast, he can certainly be a quality deep threat. So we'll wait on those combine numbers for him. Sometimes I don't go deep enough into the combine numbers, but I think this year I really have to figure out which of these receivers is worth a look. For the first time in the series, I feel we really have to go address receiver, and there's going to be a lot of depth here that appears to at least have a couple standout traits. We look for that high medium route running, high deep route running, whatever it is. find a player who has some dominant skills and carve out a role for them. It's going to be hard to figure out, though, who in this group of players we want. There are just so many options. D. Hall, his projection matches, but his top 3 in skill set, may line up with a lot of other players, like Xavier Springs, who is just a little overrated is all. Regardless, I'd like to find someone here who has good upside and is young, maybe 21, 22 years old, so they have a lot of time to develop. I feel that we'll come away after the combine numbers come out with at least a few options that we really like, but for the first time, we may have to prioritize players who get this red diamond, and normally you want to stay away from those players, but that might not be the case in this instance. Oh, I scrolled enough to find out one of the better values, though. Denzel Dennard, 23-year-old slot receiver prospect. He does have late 1 talent. That stands out, of course. His top 3 is solid catching, spec catch, short route running. Again, the tight ends, I don't really scout them now. Mid-season, I wait to see the combine numbers to see which ones I should scout later on. But there are 2 vertical threats I will have to take a look at come off-season time. And then for offensive linemen, I am looking at players mainly to move them to guard or center, and I found a couple really good tackles. Pearson Atkinson, and at left tackle there was Miles Bowman. Even Parrish Lowry here, 5th round prospect, late 1 talent. Of course, he'll be extremely high on the list of priorities in this class. If we want to find a center, there are a few good options, but we could also just stick with Hughes. I don't think you need 5 high-quality starters, and Hughes does not appear to be limiting the offense. We're very young in our front 7, and while there are some defensive linemen I'd like to develop, if there's a chance to attack that position early, it's hard to pass when the talent is this strong. I don't think that taking defensive linemen later on is necessarily the better choice, because they're probably going to be worse than the players on our roster who are already young and developing. So it's going to have to be a true difference maker, someone like Caleb House, but he's an early round 1 prospect. What about somebody like Roshan Drake, who has really good pursuit, tackling, high block shed, just 21? I think he'd be somebody worth taking as well. I can't see us being too aggressive for linebacker, but I do think that another edge rusher as depth is something we need to find, although the scouting so far has not been very good, so that might be a free agent fix. In the secondary, I've scouted all these corners, came away very unimpressed, and that led to us making the deal to go get Beekman. I may still try to find a corner worth drafting. I have scouted all of them, at least 1 rating, all the draftable corners. When I saw Vaughn Washington's top 3 here, and this is late 1 talent, I don't see it, especially considering he's 24, gets less of a window to develop. So I had to go get the player I thought could actually fill the need on our team, and that's what we did. At safety, probably looking at depth, but if Hudson Lumen struggles, then we'll look for a replacement. It's just not a very good safety class. Overall, this class doesn't appear to be a great one. It's strong in the trenches, and there might be some intriguing talent at wide receiver. Right now, it doesn't feel like the kind of draft where I want to make 10 selections, so trading will definitely be something I look at doing. The earlier, the better, I'd say. At this point of the year, we have the number 14 ranked offense and the number 24 ranked defense. Not surprised, but in points, we're 8th on offense and defensively 3rd. That's really, really good stuff. So Tyrus Sparks, after struggling to begin the season, he only had a handful of touchdowns in the first few games. Now he's turned this into a year that blends in with the rest. And that's a major comeback for him, despite being sacked so much more than we're used to seeing. This year in the ground game, we've been lucky to see both Angel Copeland and Adonis Askew play well. They are both big play running backs, and I don't think that when you have a running back committee, they necessarily need to have different skill sets. I feel that there have been enough examples of players that can do a lot of the same things well, And oddly enough, the two examples I can think of were Kyle Shanahan offenses, what they had in Atlanta with Freeman, Tevin Coleman, and then in San Francisco, Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman again, and Raheem Mostert. They just have speed backs. They have the fastest backs. Not all the fastest backs, but all their backs are very quick. And I think that we can do the same thing. We're still going to look to have a power back on the roster for that specific role, but I think that having two speedy backs gives you just even more chance to rip off those big plays, and that's what I want to get. I want a very high upside ground game. At receiver, Mike Evans has been really good. He has 11 touchdowns this year. I knew his production would likely pick up even though it started slowly, and now it's one of his highest touchdown output seasons, certainly his highest of this series. So Mike Evans still a valuable part of this team. O.J. Howard, 700 plus yards. I've considered making the contract offer just because even if he regresses, replacing him is going to be a monumental task. Like drafting tight ends past few Maddens, very tough to find the good ones. Sometimes there are no options, and that's the thing. You can only draft what's available. You can't just solve a position with effort. There has to be opportunity to go with it. DeMarcus Lodge, he's been really good. Number 100 ranked receiver. That hasn't kept him from being productive. Development is obviously key, but you don't got to be an 83 overall or higher to produce and have a strong role. For sacks allowed, Sylvester Clark and Max Heenan are still having their growing pains at tackle. Heenan especially struggled last episode against DeMarcus Lawrence. It'll still just take some time. These are two players in their second years. Unfortunately, they didn't have higher development, so it's going to be a slow progression, but thankfully, they're already pretty high overall as is. And then the defense. We're counting a lot on Devin White. He had a couple big forced fumbles last episode. Leonard Merritt, 9.5 sacks. He's going to have a chance to have a breakout, I think, at some point. But even if he doesn't, this is the production we were hoping for, and he's doing a really nice job. Again, in the sack department, Robert Cush, 6.5. Kevon DeVoe has 6. I really think he has a good shot at Rookie of the Year given this production. And for takeaways, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Hudson Lumen, Jerome Page, they all have multiple picks. And Jason Myers. He has been the best kicker we've had in the series by far. We'll go through league leaders a bit more in full next time, but there have been a few surprises here, and maybe there'll be some big development boosts. First of all, Drew Lock in New York, he's been excellent. And I think there's still that feature in place where if you finish high enough in certain stat categories, you can earn a development by default. So there's a good chance it happens for Drew Lock. Zeke, leading rusher, no surprise there, we helped him out. Let's check his injury, by the way. Elliott, out 5 weeks, dislocated elbow. That is huge. That is a major injury. Wow. Receiving, only a handful of players have 1,000 yards so far. We'll go through things a bit more in depth next time. We'll play week 17, finish things out, and then we're on to the postseason. We know that, but still a big game next time. If we lose and the Saints win, they get the division. We go on the road starting wildcard weekend. If we win, we at least have a chance at a first round bye, although I'd say it's very unlikely. Plus, this is a noon game, so we're not going to know until the game is over. We don't have much of an indication prior. So that's going to end this episode, everybody. Hope you had a good time with it. Please smash that like button if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications so you know exactly when this next episode is posted. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.